If you walk into our church here at Prince of Peace, then you see our heroes and friends, the saints, absolutely everywhere. And some of them you may know very well, but some of them you may not know the stories as best as you could. But that's why we're doing these videos, so you can learn more. Now, one of the things that you may have noticed when you come to the quiet room, right, where your little brothers and sisters go when they're being just a little bit noisy during Mass, is that there is this man right here, and he is on the wall next to the quiet room. Now, this is a young man named Charles Lwanga. Now, Charles Lwanga has a fascinating history, and he is just from the 19th century, so he's not really all that far, that long ago. Well, Charles Lwanga grew up in a family of animists. That's a weird word, isn't it? Animism is a form of religion in which you believe that the divine manifests itself in all kinds of things in the world, like trees and plants and insects and animals of various kinds. Now, of course, this isn't the true religion, but many Africans through the centuries have celebrated these particular rites and ceremonies in honor of various gods that weren't the true God. Well, Charles Lwanga, he was a very smart man. And so he came across Christian missionaries from the Church of England, from Anglicanism. And so that's when he discovered Jesus Christ. And he became a very fervent Anglican Christian. But then he discovered that there were other Christians as well who were called Catholics. And then he found out that those Christians belonged to the original church that Jesus founded. So Charles Lwanga converted from Anglicanism to Roman Catholicism. Now, Charles Lwanga was a very handsome man and very well-spoken, and many people listened to him, especially young people. Young people flocked to him because he was such an amazing person, and he radiated the love of Jesus and his Catholic faith. Now, at the time, there was a very evil king, and the evil king wanted to do all kinds of horrible things to people. And Charles Lwanga looked at all of his young friends who were around him and says, "But you can't do that to these people because that's not right." And Charles stood up to the king, and he and a number of his followers were actually martyred. They gave the ultimate sacrifice of their lives precisely because they wanted to protect young people from people who could harm them. Charles Lwanga is an example of purity in faith, devotion, in body and soul. And so during these times in which many people want to distract young people from the things of the world, to distract them from the one true religion, Charles Lwanga is a very powerful patron.